Setting goals with deadlines and focusing on achievements has been what's holding me back this whole time in reaching my fullest potential. Because every time I'd set a goal like I'm gonna make X amount of money by the end of this month, or I'm gonna post every single day this month, I'd be so motivated at first. But then life happened, I'd miss it, and it just spiraled downhill from there on. Another thing I failed at, another goal I couldn't stick to, and after years of that, I just didn't trust myself anymore. I'm cooked. So I had to figure out a different way. That's what I want to share with you today because this shift changed how I create my own dream reality, truly. So in this video, I want to walk you through what I learned so that you don't repeat the same mistakes that I did. Or if you're also struggling with the old way of goal setting, maybe you can relate to this and we can all grow together in 2026. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about first why I think the old goal setting way wasn't working for me. Second, this framework that I started using to reverse engineer my limiting beliefs that keeps me stuck. And finally, then how I set my goals now, which honestly felt so much lighter, and most importantly, it actually works without any of the self-doubt and negative talks. Firstly, before we dive into the methods and frameworks, I want to quickly share with you my experience in goal setting and why the old way is actually sabotaging me instead of helping me achieve those goals that I set for myself. In July 2025, I hit my first 10K per month. And I went from making no money at all, like literally $0 online from the beginning of the year, to immediately jumping to 10K per month in July. That might seem like a dream to everyone. And it also felt like a dream to me at that moment. And don't get me wrong, I actually did achieve my goal at that time. I really wanted to make 10K per month for the longest time. And in July, I started logging in and I really truly held that conviction within me at that moment that I was gonna set 10K per month in the following month, which is July. And so I hit it. Again, it was truly a groundbreaking experience for me. It shattered a lot of limiting beliefs. But with that also comes another setbacks. What I miscalculated was the fact that with success comes more responsibility. And that was the belief that I haven't really reframed at that moment. Why? Because when I was getting that first 10K per month, I didn't really manifest the fact that I will be working out of joy every single day. I didn't really manifest that my work will be transformational and that it will fulfill my life. I didn't really manifest any of those little things that actually really matters because I set goals based off achievements and also deadlines. And in return, during those periods, I work more hours than I have ever in my life. I have no social life, no balance, no relaxation. My self-esteem was at an all-time low. I was drowning in self-doubt. Again, the mistake was that I chose to build a business for one reason only, which is money. That's it, nothing else. Because when I think about goal setting, we think about the actionable steps. We think about the outcome. What do we want to achieve? Well, I want to achieve money, and money was my biggest priority for that year. And so I didn't really think about anything else. I was stuck in hustle mode. Like many other new entrepreneurs who are just starting new business, we're influenced by the media telling us that in order to start a business, you need to have that hustle mentality. You need to lock in every single day, lock into your room for the whole year. No social life, no life balance, just grinding every single day. And that is not the way for me, at least. And I know that for a lot of young entrepreneurs out there, especially the girlies, we don't want to be spiraling down that path. And again, some of you have probably experienced this, some of you are probably still in this mindset, but either way, this was not the state that you want to be in. Anyway, back to my story. Month by month, my revenue hit downhill until shamefully I hit $0 again. And I decided to just take a pause on everything and take a break on this business that I was building. For a lot of you, and even myself at that point, it felt like a nightmare. It felt like I have failed something and I didn't understand a bigger picture here because it was so hard for me to get new clients. It was hard for me to get more money. And again, it destroyed my self-esteem because what I thought was possible, which is manifesting 10K per month, was no longer an option for me. That was just simply luck in my eyes at that moment. But now that we are in 2026, after doing a lot of reflection, reading a lot of books, looking back now, that was actually the most eye-opening experience of my life because I had realized that I had set a revenue goal with a deadline. I hit it, but I was operating from the wrong beliefs. I believed that making money required suffering. So that is exactly what I got. And a lot of successful people out there mention that with success comes like trial and error and all of that, comes suffering, and that's what I believed in. So that is the exact reality that I got. I had to learn that hard mistake first in order for me to figure out what is the best way to create the dream reality that I actually wanted for myself. And well, I don't want to say that you have to go through misery for you to learn your mistakes and grow as a person, because again, the truth will be right if you believe so. So for you watching this video, you probably don't even have to went through all of this misery in order for you to understand how to set goals properly for yourself, how to create your dream reality, because I'm going to share it with you. And you also have to have the mentality of believing that life will be easy for you, life will be smooth, it will be relaxing, it will be full of joy, peace, because that's what you deserve. This is exactly why I created this video. I want to share what's working with me so that you have to go through all of those harsh mistakes and finally set a goal that is actually working for you. Now, the old way of goal setting that is deadline based, that is based off tracking habits, they don't just fail to work, but they actively destroy the one thing you need to manifest anything, which is self-trust. Let's say you set a goal, and using my previous example, I want to make 10K by the end of next month. What happens if you don't hit it? As the deadline comes closer, for example, you're already at day 20 and you're still at 2K, which is still 8 more K to go to 10K per month. Obviously, you're gonna start to doubt yourself. You're gonna think, am I gonna actually make it, or am I gonna fail again? And because of this negative self-talk, you're panicking. You don't know if you're gonna make it or not, and your logical side of the mind will eventually start to take over your life, and you started to lose trust in yourself. At the end of the month, you didn't manifest that 10K, and you proved to yourself again that you can't follow through. That doubt is the enemy of manifesting your dream life. Because in order for you to get what you want out of your life, you need to be in that state that you already have it, which means believing that you can already achieve it. But if you don't even trust yourself, how are you going to believe that that's going to be possible? And so it directly translates to the universe feeding into your doubt instead of feeding into your conviction that you're gonna make it. Now again, as I've mentioned before, in order for you to manifest, you have to act like whatever it is that you desire is already here. And so that signals the universe to actually give you that reality that are inside your mind. But deadlines creates urgency, scarcity, fear. And when you miss a deadline, that's when you feel like you missed your chance. And so you just created a mental block for that reality to actually manifest. The same also applies with you taking action through the wrong mindset. So let's say you commit to working out 5 days a week. You do it 3 months straight, you're crushing it. But you still believe that you need to work out for a full year to see results, or that you need to be a certain weight to feel pretty and desirable. Even if objectively you've changed during those 3 months, you won't feel like anything changed, and that will keep you miserable. The problem isn't the action, but it's the belief running in the background. Same like when I hit my first 10K per month, I was filled with a lot of negative emotions. I had low self-esteem, I wasn't even working towards something that I love. And so even if on paper my goal looks quote-unquote correct, it won't still give me consistent revenue throughout the months. It even takes back from what I truly actually want, which is money. Because my emotions, my beliefs, and the thing that I want doesn't really align. Deep down, I fear having money. And so even if I took the right actions, I wouldn't even felt like I have money in the first place, because my relationship with money after having that 10K per month, I was associating it with all of the bad things. Less time to spend on the things that I love doing. I was working more than ever, no balance, all of that. So you need to actually fix the beliefs first, then action will become effortless. So that is why the old method doesn't work. Now, here's what I'm doing instead, and I'm going to walk you through the exact framework I use to reverse engineer the limiting belief that is keeping me stuck. It is simple, but it is powerful. So here's how it works. After I took a break from that business, I was lost. I kept asking myself, why did I attract that experience? And exactly what I've mentioned before, I hadn't really examined the beliefs that I had with money after getting that 10K per month. My relationship with money shattered after having that month. In my subconscious mind, I believe that making money equals working harder, making money equals suffering, making money equals to losing time and freedom. So even though I hit the goal, my reality still reflected on those beliefs. I made money, but I suffered. And that's when I realized if you don't fix your limiting beliefs first, your goals will manifest in the most painful way possible. So grab your journal, grab any notebook that you have, pen, paper, and let's dump everything that is up here that is stuck in our mind. We need to declutter all of the negativity, organize our mind just like how we do a spring cleaning. This is the new year. We want to make sure our mind is as fresh and clean to get a good start of the year. Now, step 1 is identify your dream reality. So firstly, you want to ask yourself, what do I actually want? Be specific. Again, don't just say like I want to make more money. Write down your specific goals. And in my case, for example, I want to make 20K per month. Next, step 2 is identify what you think it will require. Now, you might think the problem previously with my experience is me only focusing on money and that's what I want to get and having the numbers all set, but surely that's going to be a mistake when I only set that goal as the main goal, whereas in reality, that should be your first stepping stone in figuring out what your real goal should be like. So now we jump to the key question, which is what do you think will be required to achieve that? What do you think you'll experience when you're in that state, when you reach that state? Your subconscious mind will immediately give you the answers. So you don't really need to think too hard on this. Whatever comes on top of your mind will be a translation to what your subconscious mind think. So, for example, when I thought about making 20k per month, my mind will say that will require more work than I previously worked on towards 10k per month. It will require more time, it will require more stress, it will require more pain. Even though I realize now that I could reframe that, I was just saying what's on top of my subconscious mind. Again, what I truly deep down believe. I still had that fear. So that's what I believed in. So write down whatever comes up to you. Don't filter it, just write it. Now, step 3 is tie those beliefs to a core memory. Now, probably the most important step is you figuring out why do you actually believe in that? Where did this belief come from? For example, for me, it was easy to trace. I believe that making money requires suffering because when I was making my first 10k per month, I had to sacrifice everything I loved. I work insane hours. I missed out on life. The reason I chose that business is to make money, and it doesn't really relate to anything that I love particularly, and so every day is a struggle. Now, that is why my subconscious has learned that money equals suffering. Now, finding the exact memory or experience that taught you that belief, that is where the magic will happen because you can easily pinpoint how that emotions or core memory, tragic core memory actually happened. This could probably be a memory of you waking up feeling the lowest you've ever been because seeing the money in your bank account decreasing. And I've been talking about money all this time because I know that for a lot of you also you want to step up your money game. We are independent girlies and we want to be the best version of ourselves. But don't only extrapolate this to money and financial freedom. You can also extrapolate this to your health, to your well-being, to your relationship, whether that be romantic or not, and basically any goals that you want to set for yourself for 2026 and beyond. Now, step number 4 is reverse engineer that belief. Now, once you figure out and identified the limiting belief, you just simply flip it. And because we already understand where that beliefs come from, it will be easier for us to actually flip those beliefs and try to make a scenario in our mind. Instead of repeating that core memory over and over again in a negative connotation, we want to flip it and create a positive reaction or a positive memory from that core memory. So if, for example, the old belief is making more money means I lose time, the new belief is making more money means I get to relax more and have a better work-life balance. You literally rewrite the belief, but not only that, once you rewrite the belief, I also want you to replay that scenario inside of your head. Again, instead of it being negative, you want to flip it into a positive memory. And that could be challenging at first, but once you repeat this over and over again, you will kind of signal your subconscious mind, telling it that this is the new reality. We need to actually speed up and level up ourselves. Get rid of the old self, and we need to upgrade. We need to get to the next level because again, reality listens to what you deem to be true in your mind and in your subconscious. So if you believe making money requires suffering, you'll manifest suffering. If you believe that making money is easy and aligned, you'll manifest that instead. Once we reach that goals and you think, okay, I've reversed my limiting beliefs, how do I actually set goals without deadlines? And that is exactly what I'm going to show to you next. This is the final piece, and it's the simplest part, but also most powerful. Because I've figured out my limiting beliefs, I realized that I had been setting outcome goals, revenue goals, achievement goals only. But what I actually wanted wasn't just money. We as humans, we want to feel free. We want to feel aligned. We want to feel joyful while building. So I stopped setting logical goals and started setting identity goals. Goals that shape who I want to become instead of just what I want to achieve. So instead of just saying I want to make 20k per month, ask yourself who is the version of you that makes 20k per month? What does she believe? How does she act? How does she feel? Now I will talk about the importance of being instead of having for quite literally hours, and it's best if I covered that on another video. So let me know if you want that to be my next video, because for me at least I need to actually understand why it is that we need to focus on identity, and my brain sometimes requires some logical thinking, and if I don't really understand why it is that I need to really reinforce my identity, for the longest time I've been neglecting it, and I didn't really focus on identity creation up until recently. So I'll make another video of that if you want to, diving deeper into the importance of it, what's the actual reasoning behind why you actually need to focus on your identity, and also how to figure out one. So for me, the version of me that is making 20K per month is going to be confident, is aligned with her purpose, is working on something she loves every day, excited to wake up every day to build, is surrounded by loving community, living with ease and flow. That is going to be my goal, to become that person. So then step number 2 is set incremental goals that you believed in. Now, here's the key. You still need to set goals, but instead of setting a goal so big that you didn't actually believe you can achieve it, you set incremental goals that challenge you, but that you know deep down that you can achieve it. It's good to be the Lulu. Don't get me wrong, the Lulu is the Salulu for sure. But sometimes we get sidetracked and we dream too much to the point where we don't actually believe that we can achieve that. Beliefs and convictions are how you're gonna manifest your dream life. So if you don't have that, it's gonna be a little hard for you to get what you want. So instead of saying I'm gonna hit 100K this month, or I'm just gonna hit 100K, I don't have it in myself yet to fully with confidence say that yes, I know that I'm gonna make that, or I know that I'm gonna achieve that. So instead, again, I set goals that are big, but that my subconscious can also say that yes, that's possible. That's your reality right now. You believe that, you know that you can do it, and when you achieve it, your self-trust goes up, your belief strengthens, and you set a goal. Step 3, remove any deadlines. Here's the most important part. No deadlines. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, instead of saying I'll make 20K by the end of March, you can say I'm becoming the version who makes 20K per month. I know it's coming. I'm moving towards it every single day. See, no timeline. It's just trust, because when you trust it's coming, you stop forcing, you stop stressing, and you allow it to unfold into your life. That is the framework. No self-sabotage, just reverse engineering your beliefs, become that person, the identity, and then finally trusting the process. So this is how I'm building everything now. So far it felt like magic. So if you've been goal setting the old way and it's not working for you, if you keep losing self-trust, if you keep falling off after 3 months, if you keep hitting goals but it felt miserable, try this instead. Reverse engineer your beliefs, set identity-based goals, remove the deadlines, and with all of that, it will be easier for you to trust the process. I'm going to be documenting this whole journey on my channel here, how I'm building my dream life and business, and sharing with you the lessons that I've learned along the way. So if you want to come along, subscribe, like this video if this is any helpful or not for you. So comment down below what's one belief you're ready to reverse engineer this year. Other than that, I'll see you in my next one.